American. I'm Dusty Rhodes. That's an old school throw out. Dusty Rhodes, baby, American dream. You don't know nothing about hard times. Hard times. Ric Flair. People work 30 years and they get a watch, brother. They get a watch. Losing their pensions. You don't know nothing about hard times. Hulk Hogan. Dusty Rhodes, American dream, baby. Oh, I'm feeling silly right now. Straighten my light out. My light isn't straightened. How is anyone supposed to see me? Okay, I already hit the full screen, but apparently my mouse doesn't like to do things when I ask it to. Dusty Rhodes, baby. Sorry, I'm having a good time. Okay, so this is 5 creepy mysteries, the Baffled experts. Let's see if there's any hard times, baby.
All over the world, there are plenty of strange mysteries that experts are working to solve. Our ancestors often leave behind items, monuments, and structures with no context that leave us baffled today. Often, the truth is lost to history, but there is hope that the answers to these unsolved mysteries may be uncovered.
That's cool.
Number 5. Excavation workers in Jerusalem uncovered a strange carving on the walls of a 1,000-year-old moat. The carving has left experts baffled, but they hope to one day be able to solve this strange mystery. Beneath an unsuspecting road in Jerusalem lies an ancient moat that has remained covered for most of modern history. The ancient city walls are still visible on one side of the street and date back to the 14th century. It's believed the walls were built on even more ancient fortifications. As part of an infrastructure project, the street was excavated, revealing the ancient moat beneath. In medieval times, the moat would have surrounded the city walls, protecting the old city from invaders. It was a dry moat. Unlike those in Europe, it wouldn't have been filled with water. But at 10 meters wide and between 2 and 7 meters deep, it was a serious obstacle for invading armies. During one of the Crusades, European armies spent weeks trying to cross it. Meanwhile, city defenders were able to attack from above or sneak into the moat through hidden passages. The moat itself wasn't too much of a surprise for archaeologists, given its...
Didn't he just say that it wasn't filled? Would you still consider that then a moat? Because to me, a moat is filled with water. And alligators, Komodo dragons, Satan. That's a moat to me. You know, minus the Komodo dragon and the alligators. Like, that's a moat. If that's left empty, that's just kind of a trench. That would just be an empty trench, which would be a pain in the ass if you're trying to attack and you're running. You're like, oh, hold on, gotta climb down here. Don't want to take a tumble and hurt my ankle. So you go down and then you run over and you gotta climb up, and the whole time there's some schmo right here saying, yep, just gonna fire this arrow at you. Bling, don't worry about me. Just sitting here like Robin Hood. Am I wrong on thinking about moats having water, or would just a trench like that around a, why am I air quoting, around a city or something like that, would that still be classified as a moat? Why? I don't know why I need to know this.
Importance to the city's history. But on the walls of the moat was a carving that wasn't explained. The carving was an obvious human handprint with slightly elongated fingers. Archaeologists were able to reach the carving and showed that it was only slightly larger than their own. The carving isn't especially deep, but is clearly visible even centuries after it was carved. So far, this strange carving is the only one that's been discovered on the walls of the moat, which makes it even more mysterious. Archaeologists don't yet know who carved the hand or why. It's possible this was made by city defenders and may have signaled one of the hidden passageways or something else. Alternatively, it may have been carved by one of the European attackers in memory of somebody during the siege. Archaeologists are hopeful that further
could have just been put up there and then traced, and then somebody just started carving at it out of boredom.
excavation can solve this mystery. With
Yeah, that smells good.
Oh man.
Oh, that was
Our
so
team point-
fast. I couldn't. It's too fast. Too fast. Hard times, baby. I ain't have time to block it. It was hard times. Dusty Rhodes, American Dream.
mystery, with more evidence or even more carvings being found which could offer an explanation. There is an alternative theory that might not have much evidence though. It's possible that the handprint was a simple prank, carved thousands of years ago by somebody who simply wanted to make a mark on the wall, who never could have imagined the mystery they would provide for future archaeologists. Number 4.
I'm more on that
In the
side.
village of Asuka, in the Japanese district of Nara, there lies a strange historical unsolved mystery. A series of strange monuments, which may date back 500 years, lie in the vegetation, waiting for their true purpose to be discovered. The most famous of these stones is the Masuda no Iwafune, or the rock ship of Masuda. The large stone monolith lies near the top of a hill near an otherwise ordinary village of Asuka. Everything from a door to a tomb to an astronomical calendar have been suggested, but the purpose of this rock remains a mystery. The rock ship is 11 meters long, 8 meters wide, and 4.7 meters high. The top of the granite rock has been flattened and is tilted slightly towards the top of the hill. 2 shallow rectangular holes are carved into the flat surface, and a groove runs parallel to the rectangles. On the underside, a series of grooves makes a lattice, which is believed to be how the creators flattened the opposite surface. Dating the stone ship is nearly impossible. Carbon dating doesn't work on stone structures, and normally archaeologists will compare art styles, records, and other tools to date a structure. But no records of who built the rock ship or why have been uncovered. An initial theory was that it was a monument of some kind built by Buddhists. Many ancient Buddhist shrines and temples have been found in the area, but none look like anything from Masuda no Iwafune. An alternative answer to the mystery is that it was used by the ancient Japanese as a calendar. During the spring, the ridge on the top of the stones lines up exactly with the sunset. This was an important marker to the start of the agricultural season. The area surrounding Asuka has been inhabited since between 250 and 552 CE. This time period is most famous for its earthen mounds surrounded by moats. Researchers have concluded that there are no remains anywhere near the rock ship, but one theory suggests that this wasn't meant to be the case. It's been suggested that the mysterious monolith is simply a tomb door that was never used. While there are plenty of theories that could explain this strange case, the lack of evidence means the unsolved mystery will continue to baffle experts for years to come. Number 3.
That one's weird.
In Chatsworth, Georgia, there's a state park named after a mysterious wall that has left experts baffled for centuries. The Fort Mountain State Park is home to an ancient structure that's yet to be explained. The structure in question is more of a wall than a fort, and is only a few feet high at most points. But its unexplained history has attracted plenty of visitors trying to solve the mystery. The wall in question lies near the top of Fort Mountain. It's 855 feet long and mostly around 2 feet tall, but it can grow up to 6 feet tall in some places. The wall is made up of stones taken from the mountain itself, but little else is known about the wall for certain. Experts believe the wall was built sometime between 500 and 1500 CE, at a time when Cherokee Native Americans lived in the area. According to the park's website, Cherokee lore attributes the wall to the Moon-Eyed people. The Moon-Eyed people are just as mysterious as the wall they created, being small, pale-skinned people that saw better at night. According to Cherokee legend, they were defeated by the Cherokee, and Fort Mountain may have been their last stand. Archaeologists believe
That, from where it was, looks like something you would see the Confederates having built to lay, or kneel down or lay behind it and take pot shots, to fire their muskets. It looks like some kind of cover. I don't know.
the mysterious wall may have simply been built by the Cherokees themselves, or a different Native American tribe. No archaeological evidence has been found at the site that could be used to identify the creators, though. For a while, it was suggested that Spanish conquistadors built the wall to protect themselves from the local people while looking for gold in the mountain. That theory has largely been debunked. Even if the question of who is answered, why the wall was built is equally mysterious and unexplained. Number 2. Throughout Scotland, there lie dozens of underground tunnels and passages, mostly hidden from view from the outside. Some date back as far as the Iron Age, but all offer archaeologists no clues as to what their actual purpose could be. Even with the advancement of technology and laser mapping, experts are still baffled about this strange mystery. In Scotland, the tunnels are known as souterrains. So far, more than 40 have been discovered. One of the few things we know for sure about these mysterious structures were that they were made, rather than simply dug out. It's believed that ancient people dug out trenches before reinforcing the sides with stone and placing a capstone on top. It was a method that lasted the ages. The oldest of the mysterious souterrains date back to the Iron Age, but some were created as recently as the first few centuries BCE. The later ones were apparently abandoned when the Romans left Britain. Even though these structures were carefully created, the insides apparently have no carvings that could have indicated what they were designed for. The souterrains we've discovered today are mostly empty. It's not known if they were emptied by the original users or if later treasure hunters stumbled across whatever was left inside. Whichever is the case, archaeologists and other experts have been left with little information that could explain what the tunnels were used for. One possibility is that they were used for storage. The cool environment would have been the perfect place to store grains or dairy products such as cheese. The problem with this explanation is just how inaccessible the tunnels are. Chambers in some souterrains would require people to crawl through, and in many cases, the openings are less than a meter tall. Other experts have suggested the souterrains were used as hiding places from bandits. Practicality would again be a problem. Even though the tunnels haven't yet been completely mapped out, it appears they don't connect to one another. Anybody hiding out in the tunnels would effectively become trapped in this small, lightless location. Other suggested answers to this strange mystery include places to secure prisoners and places of worship for some ancient, long-lost gods. Scotland isn't the only location with these souterrains. Ireland, Cornwall, Brittany, and Normandy all have their own, each as mysterious as the last. It's likely there's no one explanation for all the tunnels, but experts have not found proof of any explanation.
Those are all, considering how big the world is, those are all confined to a small area on the globe. So maybe it was done by similar people or the same people in various areas. And maybe that was an area to store things, could have been an area to worship. It is weird. I would almost have to go in and physically, with my own eyes, look at it to best judge, well, how would they have used something like this? Maybe they lived in there. Maybe the small openings and things, maybe that was an escape, like a panic room. I don't know.
Number 1. Stonehenge in England is by far the most famous mysterious circle of standing stones, but it's not the only one. While plenty of research has been done into the British archaeological site, more mysterious standing stones are those that appear in places where human activity is limited. It was Leilson Camelo da Silva who first brought the Amazon Stonehenge to the attention of scholars. The ring of stone circles lies just above the equator of the Amapá state in Brazil. It's made up of 127 blocks of granite, some of which are up to 4 meters tall.
There's an unknown cotton candy henge. It gets wiped out during the rains and then rebuilt. It's an amazing structure. It's very delicious too.
A circular diameter of 30 meters. The site lies on the bank of the Rio Grande River, which lends its name to the more official name of the mysterious site. Leilson discovered the stones while hunting boar in the area as a teenager.
Meet 3 people who
Son
took
of a bitch, this black sound. Hard times, baby. It's hard times when I can't block the sound. Ric Flair! You don't... I'm just entertaining you. Actually, I'm entertaining myself while the commercials play. Ric Flair! Don't know nothing about hard times. They work 30 years and they get a watch. It's hard times, baby. They lose their jobs. And we're back.
As a teenager. He then came across them again while clearing trees to make way for cattle grazing. He wasn't the first to have discovered them, with a Swiss-Brazilian naturalist having written about the mysterious site in the 19th century. But archaeologists at the time didn't believe there could have been civilizations in the rainforest capable of such work. Lilson was less skeptical and made himself a caretaker of the site. Since its rediscovery in the 90s, it's gained the attention of archaeologists and scholars, but so far it remains just as mysterious as its more famous namesake. More and more research is uncovering lost societies that once called the Amazon rainforest their home, and it's likely one of these societies created the mysterious stone circle. Researchers have pinpointed a location further up the river where the stones were likely brought from, but who exactly created the structure and why remains a mystery. It's believed the structure was created around 1,000 years ago, 500 years before Europeans began to colonize the area. So far, there's been no evidence of any settlements discovered near the Rego Grande site, but broken pottery and urns have been uncovered near the stones. Experts believe at least part of the site was a graveyard, though it isn't believed to be the sole reason for the stones. A popular theory is that the structure is an astronomical site. There are claims that on the winter solstice, one of the stones lines up closely with the sun. It's not clear whether or not the claims are accurate, but it's possible the stone circle was used to mark significant dates in the year. It may also have been used as a spiritual site, or simply a guide marker for hunters and fishermen to stop people from getting lost. It's likely that the Amazon has many more unsolved mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and each one may help explain a little more about the other strange artifacts we find. Thank you guys so
Interesting. I don't really know. I don't really have, I think Stonehenge is pretty cool. I'd love to see it. But that one looked like it had a little more wear on it. Not as much. It didn't have the beauty of Stonehenge. Stonehenge is just. Anyways, I'm going to end it here because I have another Dusty Roads, The American Dream. I can feel it. It's coming out of me. So I got to stop it. So I'm going to end this here. Like and subscribe, baby. Dusty Roads says you should like and subscribe. And you have a good day. Have a good night.